explain how the detained masses will be murdered, right? Despite the speculation that has arisen about the FEMA trains and its true hidden plan, you should also consider the obvious when you put two and two together. Hundreds, if not thousands of concentration camps have been built under the FEMA hidden hand all across the United States, based in all remote isolated areas of cities. FEMA bought out vacant warehouses all across the US and spent millions of dollars in renovating old trains, which are mostly Amtrak, remodifying its whole structure to it being 3 levels high. And these trains, along with FEMA railroad barns, are gas-powered, airtight ceiling vents with steel handcuffs at the train seat armrests and steel shackles by the base of the floor for the feet. After the initial second staged attack, all branch of foreign military administered by the United Nations will then begin arresting every US citizen who tries to protest against the government and will therefore be taken to the FEMA detention centers. Many have confirmed, either through foreign or domestic relations with the insiders of FEMA, that millions upon millions of black plastic coffins have been stationed in all remote areas of cities from which were manufactured solely for the purpose for the dead bodies to be stored in after the FEMA trains had poisoned all forced boarding passengers that were picked up from the red and blue zones at the concentration camps. Once these trains finally arrive to the FEMA warehouses, with every person exterminated from the train's poisonous gas, all of the dead bodies will be removed from the train carts and then placed inside the plastic coffins. 3 human beings can fit one on top of each other in just one casket liner alone. It is estimated that FEMA will process over 300,000 bodies per hour nationwide once it is in full effect. The remaining select few who have succumbed to this tyrannic government will then be stripped of their individual basic rights and forced to comply, respect, and obey the laws from the global elites, obligated to walk away from our Constitution and never look back. What this really comes down to is the American version of the modern-day Holocaust. Words can't even express how immensely overwhelming it is to even begin divulging this information to you, in which I really don't want it to happen. But one thing that is for certain is that history repeats itself. the manifestation of a repressive society has put itself into place to aim our indifferences against each other. So with that being said, let's put all the bull to the side and observe the true nature of the real reasons why our own government has been orchestrating these premeditated events at face value. If you take a look back in history, World War I, World War II, and the current war in the Middle East, from which is still in its infancy, were not fought to protect us from the alleged dangerous terrorists, or for the sake of our freedom, oil, nor for the service of our own country, but were staged to rob all of mankind from the freedom of speech, the right to own firearms, the right to grow our own food, the right to have as many children as we wish, the right to express unbiased opinions through alternative forms of media, and to be free as an individual. The people at the top of this capstone have suppressed the secrecy of this massive brainwash, only to really dumb down society into believing and accepting that war is the key in order to sustain our freedom. But nothing could be farther from the truth.
Chairman Ranaki, I'm looking at the report that you handed out this morning, and I was wondering if you could take your copy and turn to page 26. There's a table on page 26 which consists of your balance sheet, and one of the entries on the balance sheet is under assets, central bank liquidity swaps, which shows an increase from the end of 2007 from $24 billion to $553 billion in change at the end of 2008. What's that?
Those are swaps that were done with foreign central banks. Many foreign banks are short dollars, and so they come into our markets looking for dollars and drive up interest rates and create volatility in our markets. What we have done is, with a number of major central banks, like the European Central Bank, for example, we swap our currency, dollars, for their currency, euros. They take the dollars, lend it out to the banks in their jurisdiction,